Hi, we will be talking today about mining Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. What we will be talking about is what is mining, how does it work, how to mine, what type of hardware you should use, and what to mine, either Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency. What is mining Bitcoin? Mining is a very long mathematical calculation happened in your computer or rig, as the miner like to call it. This calculation will generate Bitcoin, and that's the main reason why miners do mining. In the end of the mathematical calculation, you will be rewarded with a fraction of a coin. That fraction of a coin will go to your account. The mathematical calculation happened to solve a crypto puzzle. When someone send someone Bitcoin or any transaction happen in the Bitcoin network, all miners look at that transaction and try to validate the account, try to validate the signature of that transaction, and try to find out the crypto hash key that attached to that transaction. And the first one to validate that key, he will be rewarded with a Bitcoin or a fraction of a Bitcoin. The first one find that hash key were rewarded with Bitcoin. Any transaction that happened in the Bitcoin network needs to be validated and verified against the main ledger of transaction, which they call it blockchain. So all miners maintain a copy of that blockchain, and they validate the new transaction against that copy. And whoever come up with the validation and validate first, he will be rewarded with the Bitcoin. In order to understand that, let's talk about bank transaction versus Bitcoin transaction. Let's say A will want to send B $100 using a bank account. And this is a centralized system, means everyone is connected to the bank account. Bank will validate everyone's account and will validate the signature of that person, of A, and will validate that the money exists. Then he will take the $100 from A and add the $100 to B's account. So the bank verified the transaction and the money is transferred and received. If we do the same transaction in Bitcoin world, so you have a decentralized system. Since no bank will validate transaction, so who will validate the transaction? The miners will validate the transaction. If A want to send 1 Bitcoin to B, he will create a transaction and broadcast it in the Bitcoin network. All the miners look at that broadcast and start right away validating A's account, A's signature, and the Bitcoin quantity. The most important one is A's signature, which it will require going through a crypto puzzle in order to get the hash key that A signed his transaction with. So the first one get that hash key signature, he will be rewarded with a Bitcoin and added to his account. So how to mine and what hardware you should use. Mining happened when you are connected to a Bitcoin network. So you have to be connected to a Bitcoin network in order to do mining. And you need a hardware in order to do mining, which we call it rig. Rig is basically a very powerful computer. And you need a software miner application that will connect you to the Bitcoin network. And of course you need internet to do all the above. Hardware, you will need a motherboard, processor, memory. You will need a video card, GPU, since we are talking today about GPU mining. In previous videos we talked about the type of mining. So we mentioned that there is a CPU mining, there is a GPU mining, and there is an ASIC mining. Today we're talking about the GPU mining. So you need video cards, and you need hard drive and power supply. These are the basic mining hardware that you will need. You put all this hardware together and you will have a rig. This rig is what you will be using to mine Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency. You put few rigs together and you will have a farm. Farm is a big rig center that has a lot of rigs. It could be a small farm, 10 rigs or above, and it could be a big farm with thousands of rigs. Thousands of rigs or more. What to mine? There is a lot of cryptocurrency that you can mine. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Zcash, Bitcoin Cash, Ripple, Litecoin, Dash, Monero. There is a lot of them. These are just the most famous one. And the most common one that we do mine is Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Ethereum, of course, and Dash. Hardware cost and the profit from mining. At the time of this presentation, according to my recent calculation of hardware prices, quality, and performance, rig will cost you around $6,000, more or less. The profit will vary, depends on what cryptocurrencies you're mining and your power consumption. Power consumption is a very important aspect of mining. My latest mining calculation of mining Zcash and transfer that Zcash to Bitcoin, the rig will make around $600 a month. That's about $50 per card a month. So you need to make a decision and start mining. Happy mining.